Hi, Casey here. Today we're going to talk about whether you're doing keto wrong, and if so, according to whom. Hi, I'm Casey Durango, and I talk about the ketogenic diet and its impact on my life. I have lost 95.4 pounds. It's taken me about 3 years to do it, but I've enjoyed nearly every step of the way. Improved health, weight loss, improved frame of mind, etc. Today I want to talk about something that's come up recently on a Facebook page, frankly. As is going to happen when you have more than, 3 people in a room, frankly, more than one person in a room, you can end up with really divergent ideas about anything. What's right, what's wrong, who's better, who's worse, how do you do it, how should you do it? And when it comes to something as fundamental as nutrition and diet, very often that is really emotional, and people have really strong opinions about it. And recently it came up at someone on a very nice Facebook page, Keto After 40 and Beyond, came in and said, it looks like a lot of people here are doing this by eating a whole lot of meat and getting very few greens, and I've done it this other way. I've done it lazy keto, and I've lost weight. So if you're not, something to that effect. If you're doing it that way, you're doing it wrong. Literally were the words. And if that's what you're doing it wrong. Well, you can imagine this led to a cascading series of comments and rebuttals and opinions, rightfully so. And I happened to be the admin of that page, and someone gave me a heads up about it, and I went in and respectfully suggested that person possibly was in the wrong place, because that's not how we roll on that page. That person came back loaded for bear, and that person is no longer a member of the group per me blocking that person. That is not really, that's mini drama. But it leads to a bigger topic. What is doing keto right? Quick primer. A ketogenic diet. Ketogenic means that your body is burning ketones for fuel rather than glucose. That's all that means. Low carb diets can be effective and not be ketogenic. You don't have to be in a state of ketosis to lose weight. I have found it's a very elegant way to lose body fat, get clarity back, mind clarity, reduce inflammation, a long list of cascading benefits, okay? But all the ketogenic diet is, by definition, is your body is burning ketones for fuel. How do you get there? Is your body burning ketones for fuel? Are you checking that you're in ketosis? If you are, you're doing it right, okay? If you're eating 4 times as much protein as I am, if you are eating twice as many carbs per day as I am, and you're in ketosis, you're doing it right. If you are not worried about being in ketosis, then that's fine. Just don't say you're doing the ketogenic diet. It's just a different thing, and it's no better, no worse. Weight Watchers, many people love and are successful on Weight Watchers. Many people are, they find that if they just count calories and exercise, more, that works. Fantastic. For some, believe it or not, the standard American diet works. But on the ketogenic diet, if you're in ketosis, you're doing it right. If you don't care about it being in ketosis, don't worry about it. And that leads to another thing. There's a lot of differing information. We've talked many times about how do you get into a state of ketosis. It is not by adding in a lot of dietary fat. It's not the presence of the fat that puts you into ketosis, it's the absence of the carbs, okay? It's not the presence of the fat in your diet, it's the absence of the carbs, or the low level of carbs. You find what level works for you. What works for me is about 10 to 13 grams of carbs a day. It's what I feel good on. It's what I lose size and body fat. My energy level is good. My husband can tolerate higher. Our son was visiting yesterday. He's doing this. He's measured, and he finds he can go to about 40. He's a young man in his 20s, and he can tolerate more. That may or may not change over time. Second point I'm going to talk about. what was this person's point in coming in? And I really don't think this person was a troll. I think maybe they had some experience to share. The delivery was really bad. This is a lesson we can all take home, and it's not just about diets. It is not generally productive on any topic to tell someone, to just state, this is the way it must be, or this is always the case, or this is never the case, or you're wrong. Someone might be wrong, but that may not be the delivery. And if someone challenges you on that, and this happened a lot on this thread, people said, well, this is not a high protein diet, or I'm not eating a lot of protein, or who are you? This person's response was, you didn't even understand my message. Okay, again, so now you're telling people they're not smart enough to understand a written word. That delivery was wrong as well. If, say someone talks to you on a topic, maybe it's the ketogenic diet, and they're questioning you about it, or they're fearful about it, or they have been taught, as most of the world is, that is really dangerous. And you explain it to the best of your ability and as you understand it. And they say, well, that is not what I was taught. If you come back and say, well, you just don't understand. Well, yeah, I don't understand. But you say, well, let me put it another way. And try that tactic. Again, this is just really good interpersonal skills. Don't tell someone they don't understand. Don't tell someone they're wrong. Ask a question, offer a solution. Okay? That's just a little side thing. So stop fretting about whether you're doing keto right. I do suggest you measure. People have also said, blanket statement, the urine keto sticks don't work. I've spoken many times about that. That is simply inaccurate information. As a rule, as long as your keto sticks have been stored properly in their container with the lid on so they're not overexposed to the air and they're not expired, check later in the day, not first thing in the morning when your acetoacetate would be more diluted. Check later in the day. Those are great tools. Check and see if you're in ketosis. And we know the slightest pink is the same as the darkest purple. You either is or you ain't. It's like pregnancy. So once you figure out that you're in ketosis and you start experimenting, seeing, always try to eat only when hungry. But maybe there's a food you wonder, I wonder if I could get away with eating cheese now or something else. Experiment. So, change one thing up. Find out, okay, I'm going to only change up eating cheese or more cheese or, a handful of nuts, and find out your tolerance. If you are still in ketosis, you're doing it right, okay? And the other thing is, even if you're not, it's nobody's business. What do we care what anybody thinks about what we do? Particularly those of us who are more mature years. We have put up with enough BS and people butting their noses in. Everyone from, well-meaning or not even well-meaning friends or relations or snarky people, or what do you care? I have people doing drive-bys on my channel here, just coming in to give me a good thumbs down or to explain to me how I'm doing it wrong. I don't care. I don't care. I'm doing what's good for me. And I'm enjoying that. I want you to do the same thing. Find out what works for you. Make your decisions based on what you know, what's good for you. And then continue to do this. If you need to tweak things, tweak them. If people don't like what you're doing, screw them. That sounds ugly. You don't have to be ugly, just ignore them. You don't have to enter into a dialogue with people. If people have advice, thank you so much for your input. And then don't say anything else. It'll drive them crazy. Okay, this is it. I did want to let you know a couple of things. I had put on my Patreon page, which is a site, people can become patrons essentially. And I had put a goal that if I made a certain threshold of subscriptions a month, I would add a YouTube Live and a Facebook Live session every week. Some people like them, some people don't love the lives. And thank you so much for the support, you guys. I look forward to posting more, and I look forward to civil, open dialogue about this topic. If you think you're not doing it right, check. If someone else tells you you're not doing it right, take that with a grain of salt. Speaking of which, I have my bouillon with my added sodium. It's doing really well for me, y'all. Okay? Make it a great day. Keep it in the road.